I bought a cold plunge tub. Well, almost. I had it in the cart, $3,000 for the tub, another $800 for the chiller, because apparently cold water isn't good enough for a cold plunge tub. So I did what I always do before I spend money based on hype. I went and did some actual research. And what I found stopped me from clicking buy. All right, here's the claim. Cold plunge after your workout. Sit in water between 39 and 55 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. Your body responds to the cold stress, reduced inflammation, reduced soreness, faster recovery, back in the gym sooner, training harder more often. It sounds plausible, it even sounds scientific. Reduce inflammation, recover faster, that's the logic chain everyone repeats. And if you have a cold plunge, leave a comment down below. I'd be curious to know exactly how well it is working out for you and what the benefits that you've seen. The industry built around this is enormous. Plunge tubs, chillers, ice bath subscriptions, recovery centers charging by the session. And I'm not here telling you cold water feels bad or that people are lying about liking it. Plenty of people genuinely enjoy it.
How important is the plunge pool? Or is that just a trend?
I do it every day. It sucks.
I'm here to tell you what actual research says happens to your muscles when you do it. And it's not what the marketing says. There's a study, 16 men, 7 weeks of structured resistance training, 3 sessions a week. Half the group did cold water immersion after every single session, 15 minutes at 50 degrees. The other half just sat in room temperature water for the same amount of time. Same training, same program, only difference what they did in the 20 minutes after they finished lifting. The result? The cold water group had less muscle growth, and not slightly less. The researchers measured actual muscle fiber cross-sectional area with imaging, and the group that iced after every session grew meaningfully less type 2 muscle fiber than the group that didn't. The strength numbers were close between groups, but the actual size of the muscle, the thing most of us are training for, blunted. And the researchers who ran it didn't hedge on this conclusion. They said flat out cold water immersion after training should be avoided if muscle growth is your goal. And that's not a supplement company blog. That's not a guy on a podcast. That's a peer-reviewed study specifically measuring the outcome the cold plunge industry claims to help with and finding the opposite. Does that study change your mind on your post-workout routine? And this isn't a one-off. When researchers pooled multiple studies together, a systematic review looking across all the available data on cold water immersion and muscle growth after resistance training, the pattern held. Consistently less hypertrophy in the cold exposed groups. Here's a part that actually matters. When you train, you create controlled damage to the muscle. That damage triggers inflammation. And I know, inflammation sounds like a bad word, like something you're supposed to completely avoid. But in this specific context, that inflammation response is part of the growth signal. It's your body sending resources, blood flow, immune cells, growth signaling to the site so it can rebuild muscles bigger and stronger than before. Cold water immersion works by constricting blood vessels and dampening that exact inflammatory response. So when you jump into the cold plunge right after training, you're not helping recovery in the way that people think of recovery. You're shutting down part of the signal that tells your body to build muscle in the first place. Reduce blood flow to the area, suppress the specific signaling pathway your body uses to trigger muscle protein synthesis after you train. You're not speeding up recovery, you're interrupting the process that recovery is. Okay, so maybe you don't care about maximizing hypertrophy. Maybe you just wanna feel better, feel less sore, and you're fine with trading a little muscle growth for that. And that's fair, except even that part of the pitch is shakier than you think. There's a randomized trial, this one specifically with women, since a lot of cold plunge research skews male. And researchers wanted to know if the effect held up across sexes. 30 participants, some got cold water immersion after exercise-induced muscle damage. Some got hot water. Some got nothing. Neither the cold water group nor hot water group actually recovered faster than the group that did nothing at all. Not in muscle soreness, not in strength, recovery, not in swelling, nothing. The researchers measured real physiological differences. Muscle oxygen saturation, core temperature. So the cold water was doing something to the body. It just wasn't translating into people actually recovering better. So the honest version of the research, when you put it all together, cold plunging after training can measurably blunt the muscle growth you're chasing, while the recovery benefit it's supposed to trade off for isn't reliably showing up either. And here's where I want to be fair, because wellness scam doesn't mean everything is fake. It means the claims are overstated to sell you something. And here are a few honest caveats. Cold plunging didn't eliminate muscle growth in these studies. It reduced it. The people in the cold water group still built muscle, just less of it. If you're not training for maximum hypertrophy, you're an endurance athlete or genuinely just love the mental clarity people report, or it's part of a sauna and cold routine you do for stress and not gains, that's a different conversation entirely. Timing matters too. Some of the researchers pointed out that most of the negative studies used cold immersion immediately after training. Whether waiting several hours changes the picture is still genuinely unsettled. The honest answer from the research is we don't fully know yet. And there's an interesting split in the data. Cold water immersion seems to interfere with strength training adaptations. But for endurance athletes, this story may actually run the other way. Some research has found that regular cold water immersion after endurance training increases a protein called PGC1A, basically a master switch for building more mitochondria in your muscle, which is a big part of what makes endurance training work. That's a genuinely promising finding, though it's not fully settled. At least one study looking at sprint interval training didn't see the same actual effect show up. So if you're a runner or a cyclist, that calculus might be completely different than if you're in the gym trying to build muscle 5 days a week. And that's the difference between what I do and what the supplement ads do. I'll tell you where the evidence is genuinely mixed instead of pretending it's all one clean answer. So if your goal is what mine is, building muscle, adding size, making the most of every training session, the current evidence says skip the cold plunge right after you lift. Not because cold water is evil, but because the exact mechanism that makes you feel good and feel anti-inflammatory is the same mechanism that seems to interfere with the muscle building signal you just spent an hour or two at the gym creating. And listen, if you genuinely like cold plunging for how it makes you feel, mentally, for stress, for the ritual of it, do it. Just do it hours away from your training, not as a post-workout routine. And go in with the accurate expectations instead of a $4,000 subscription and a promise that isn't backed by what the research actually shows. That's the whole scam. When you boil it down, not that cold water is dangerous, that an entire industry took a real interesting physiological finding and marketed it as the opposite of what the data says. I read the actual studies, so you don't have to build a $4,000, $8,000, $12,000 tub in your garage based on all of what the podcasters are saying.
Is a cold plunge good for you?
If you like it, if you like the challenge. But medically, I'm never gonna recommend to my patient, ever in my life as a physician, to go do a cold plunge.
And that's what this whole series is. No sponsorships behind any of these opinions, no affiliate links, just the primary research and what it actually says versus what gets marketed to you. If you like content like this and you want more of it, the actual evidence, not the marketing, subscribe. I've got a lot more of these coming. Go check out some of my other episodes. I'll see you on the next one.